Hey everyone, this is Pat Brown. Welcome to another race review here, looking at the Piscitello Law Crit happening at the Bob Rodale Cycling Fitness Park in Trexlertown. Another 30-mile race, 30 laps on a nice, smooth and flowing course here. Just some stats off the top here. So average speed was 28.7. Max speed I got up to was around 37 or so. Normalized power of around 290 watts, variability index of 1.14, so a little punchy, and then my average power was 254 watts. So to give you a little bit of an idea, um, wasn't the most intense at a pretty low average power, but the end, how it all played out, ended up with a max heart rate for the year so far at 205 beats per minute. So at least the end, I think partially because of how it played out, really lended to that with the last minute. The last minute, let's see, last minute average was 552 watts. Last 30 seconds was 709. So a little bit of a drawn out finish, but nonetheless. So now we're getting into some of the action here. Uh, I was hoping a little bit for a breakaway, but it seemed like, just like last time we were on this course for a weekend crit, it seemed like no one really wanted to let one go. And so I saw something forming here, and I thought, heck, we're already, 26, 25 minutes in, probably a little bit under halfway. Maybe this one will be the one to go. So I give it what I have here, hoping that the bike doctor rider will be able to help bridge the gap with me to this, because I know we have some separation behind. Um, but we aren't. It looks like a lot of people aren't quite looking for making it to this breakaway. And I see riders ahead kind of shutting down. I look behind us, and the group is just right on our tail. One thing that I wish I did do was just to keep pedaling here at around 300 watts, even though the heart rate spiked up to 196. What that basically did, not pedaling, gave a huge speed differential. They're going 30 plus, and I'm doing 25, and that'll make a huge difference in the amount of effort they have to do to get back onto the group. This clip here is just to see some of the dynamics. You can always try to keep your momentum forward. Sometimes you run into a wall, but I felt like it was something working diagonally through the group was something that I really tried to focus on here. I actually do a cheeky little move inside here, which some people didn't like, but they left the door wide open, so why not? Typically, you don't want to dive into uh, dive into the corners, but that's how it goes. So one thing, this track rider, actually, he had two moments. This moment here where he made a pretty sizable line deviation, which was fine because he had enough room. But then you'll see here, as we're going up, the rider is to my left here, the Star Track rider, who's a big guy. He's a kilo rider on the track, so everything's pretty tight. But you'll see, kind of, it'll be pretty quick swerve in, and he actually chopped up a rider behind who actually yelled at him. Um, so really make sure you're trying to hold your line as best you can, especially in a P12 race, uh, because people will not take kindly to that at all. They'll definitely call you out on it. All right, so we're getting into the last few laps here, and so it's definitely tight. Everyone wants to be at the front, and so see riders. It's actually, I believe, a pro level rider, just letting someone know not to chop off his wheel and really take it tight inside. And so basically that will take us into 3 laps to go here. So again, we got 3 laps to go. I end up getting pushed off a little bit here, but again, you need to make up whatever places you can, wherever you can, to try to save energy, because you'll definitely need it for the finish. And so it'll take a little bit while longer. You'll see things kind of slow down a little bit of a lull. which the whole group's together. So, but one thing I should have been paying attention a little bit more of was these riders coming up on the left. I saw those two go as one on my left, and in the future, I should definitely be anticipating some riders coming up on the left. But but I ended up not taking that into consideration actually in the race. So this is with 2 laps to go here. Now it's getting strung back out here, but I see a few Doylestown riders up there, so I'm a little bit worried that they'll be able to string out a lead out, and basically I won't be able to move up from there. So the heart rate is up there around 184 beats per minute. But I think where I'm sitting at is pretty good, but I'm a little bit cautious because I'm worried that basically once the lead out riders start going, that could be my race for me if they're to organize, and that's what was in my head at that point. But now I'm just hoping to stay up near the lead basically as much as I can. You'll see a lot of people are using the entire road surface, even some extra here. So there's one of the lead out guys from Doylestown, but they ended up not getting quite enough together at the front for the finish to keep it strung out, and that's a little bit of foreshadowing for about probably around 3/4 of a mile left to go, around 1,200 meters. So actually, on my right here is the eventual winner of the race, which was a little bit of an unorthodox finish, but um, nonetheless, I'm definitely within good company right where I am at this point. And like I said before, you want to try to keep your spot as much as you can. So I actually get closed out. I get kind of muscled off to the side, but his bars were in front, so that's kind of how that goes. Really, I should have accelerated, a few extra pedal strokes, and that would have taken me to give me that full inside line. So here it is again, just getting pushed off a little bit, but that's okay in the scheme of things. They're still able to keep everything upright and keep moving forward here, not lose too many positions. All right, so this will actually take us right into one to go here. So sitting only, probably sitting 10th wheel or so, one to go here. uh, but I found myself actually a little bit too far forward in a minute. But I'm thinking at this point, I'm in a good spot. If I need to come around some riders, the left lane is open and I can just go for it. And then one of my worries here, a little bit boxed in. And now, if I had recalled and was really thinking, um, I'd be looking at the left here for something to go. And there's the move right there. So at this point, I have a decision to make. Really, I need to either respond to this 100% or need to let it go. And I saw the huge differential in speed that they had. I saw that, and I ended up closing it down and trying to have some other riders chase. Because right now we're about 1,200 meters to go, maybe 900 meters. And so this is my next choice here. So I see this rider comes through. He doesn't want to be on the front. And so basically, if I wait for him, then those riders possibly just go out and win it, or or I wait and hopefully other riders will take over. Now that was another decision to make. So do I try to go with Andrew Dowdle, or do I uh, or do I kind of sit in? And at this point, I'm hoping that some people will come around. But even if not, I thought I might as well, to avoid getting swarmed, might as well put down some power, keep the speed up a little bit. And that'll also keep me safe through the last few turns here as well. So I wanted to make sure I was on the inside because I knew a lot of crashes would drift onto the outside, especially in these last few turns, just where the momentum is. And then we see that's the eventual winner. He got a great jump around, and I happened not to see him. I should have really had a head on the swivel to the right uh, to check for that, but I ended up not, and that's basically that's the winner going up the road. Tried to latch onto the draft of this wheel, but you can see I'm definitely struggling to hold that, and I want a little bit for the rest of the kick. Now, something that not a lot of people saw here was the crash. So they clipped the lead rider clipped the pedal. Andrew Duddle was sitting on his wheel, and that and took out Andrew Duddle. So basically, Andy was set up perfect for the win, and then but it's crazy, something like a clip pedal, and that can be that. So always trying to stay on the inside, I think, especially for these last two turns, is really key. So again, here I should have tried to accelerate a little bit more. It's a little bit tough to accelerate in this turn, which makes that attack right there for the finish that much harder to get on terms with. And again, fighting for this wheel. Now at this point, I'm just trying to keep everything strung out and trying to stay up front. Basically, get as high of a speed as I can. See, we're going 35, 36 through the last turn, and then it's just trying to uncork everything. Now, in the 30 seconds preceding this, and you see I'm only at around 1,000, 1,100 watts. The 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 30 seconds preceding that, I was you know, sitting at around 400, 500 watts. So that's definitely one of the big reasons why I just wasn't able to pop off as fast or sharp of a finish as I was hoping for. But ended up with sixth, which I'm really happy with. I believe over 80 guys started, around 72 finished, so sixth isn't too bad. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next race. It should be really a loaded weekend with 3 or maybe even 4 races for this upcoming weekend. So we'll catch up with you then.